Hello, hello, hello. It is Quinn with PTSD while black. Today's meditation was really useful. It helped me to kind of put the whole gang stalking situation into perspective and to really look at what is my part in this dysfunction. What part did I play in this? And the first initial part that I played was having insecurity around my skills, gifts, and talents. The people that I was interacting with were around singing karaoke and songs and things that I'm passionate about, doing voice acting, writing scripts, as well as talking about spiritual connection with people. I was really looking for, and I still am. That's one of the things in my vision book. I was really looking for a tribe to create with because I do better with accountability groups due to my brain injury. It helps, and plus I've been doing this for years. It helps me to have other people to check in. I find that I'm more successful that way, and so I was really trying to mix those things together, being so vulnerable around my skills, gifts, and abilities, and also being vulnerable around um, wanting to deal with the death of my pet. That was a lot. So I have um, to recognize that one, when I'm dealing with grief, I have to prioritize myself. Self care was a big lesson in this entire process. Dealing with the loss, I needed to process the loss. And I didn't need to try to use these new relationships, which were around skill building, to help with processing that loss. That was inappropriate of me. I really needed to be around loving and supportive people who know me, who know I'm someone with a disability, someone living with complex PTSD, people who respect me and know my journey. So that's my responsibility in that. And then the other thing that I was seeing is around my skills and gifts, displaying my skills. Plus, I was also doing balloon art on video too. I was singing and twisting balloons at the same time. Um, I have talent. I have talent. It's not the best in the world, but it's pretty damn good, you know? And I need to celebrate and respect that and not be in fear of my talents and gifts. Hey there, sup? So I'm really recognizing that I have choices and options in this process. And I should not have allowed my fears to be any more important than anything else. Um, the other thing that I saw with the meditation is like I'm grateful for this situation because it teaches me to value myself, that self-care is a priority, and that also my boundaries of who I see as safe people. I need to honor that. In my healing journey around the underbeing and the chronic pain, one of the things that I found was that I had not believed Black women. That was one of my faults, one of my flaws. I hadn't believed Black women. I hadn't believed myself as well. And so part of my amends process is to trust and believe and listen to Black women, to trust their reality, to trust their experiences. And I'm learning to trust my own. So one thing that I noticed is, and so I'm here for the uplifting of women of color and, um, yeah, for the well-being of women of color. That's part of my amends process. Um, and so one thing I noticed is that the individual who started many of the rumors, he was doing this thing of where he would kind of try to pit me against other women, which I don't I don't do that. Like there specifically was another Black woman who was singing a song that I had sang, but she didn't even know it. So it's kind of like it felt like the dude said, "Oh, you should try this song," and as if I was going to be jealous. I was just like, "Nope, that just shows me who you are. That just shows me who you are, and that's not a good fit for where I'm going in my goals and my relationships with people." So I had seen that, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a red flag for me." Um, And so it was good that I'm glad that I was aware for some of the time, even though while dealing with the grief, I should have not been engaging with these individuals at all. during grief. So I'm learning that I have a right to respect and support myself. Um, the other thing that I realized, and I just kind of loved it, this entire situation, I think, is kind of being used in a way of elevating communities because these people, okay, they came after me with forced videos and with the tarot readings because I was watching tarot videos because I wanted to get better at doing card readings and to add that into my entertainment business. And these people, I was following mostly Black tarot readers. And one thing that I noticed that was a pattern that would happen is the tarot readers would be saying, "Oh, thank you so much for the donations." They suddenly were getting a lot of donations, and some of their readings were changing in the way that they were reading. And I was like, "Oh, so they're possibly paying people to give forced readings as well." And I just had to laugh at that situation because they were white people who were angry at me creating a group for Black artists, were paying Black tarot readers to come after me. And that made me laugh. Um, and then the other thing too that I see is like this is all getting used for the divine's good. Um, they were having other tarot readers follow the tarot readers that I was following. Or the other people that I would watch are people who have worked a recovery program or had recovered and worked on themselves. So these are the people that are starting to get the money. And I think that's great. Even if it was used to try to create some kind of ambient abuse for me. But what I think is great is that all these tarot readers are watching each other and learning the skills of each other. Um, and, it's sad there's a lot of copycat behavior, but if their skills are improving and they can be of better service to the communities that they are working with, because now the skill share has happened, it all works out for the divine's good. And it's just what I wanted to do with creating a group for POC creatives. So you just did the work for me, babies. You just did the work for me. And I think it's so funny. So it's just like, okay, this creates more expansion, creates more opportunities for people to awaken or to learn new skills, to hone their skills and be better at service. So even though some accepted payments, I noticed that some accepted payments and were like, no, that doesn't feel right for me. I noticed how personalities changed. I'm like, all right, cool. But I just laugh. I'm glad that these folks got money. I'm glad that you funded communities of color. I'm glad that you funded people who were recovering from painful experiences. Thank you. Thank you for your blessing. And the last thing that I was just thinking of too is as long as these folks are chasing after me, I'm an adult. I'm a grown ass woman. And I have support systems. I'm able to handle this. But if this was some young girl who didn't have people supporting her, going through this ambient abuse, it would have been way more difficult because I could see someone who's very alone and isolated being manipulated into believing certain things about themselves, to believing that people are coming after them, to believing that they're worthless or that they create problems in the world. I can see someone trying to harm themselves as a result of this abuse if they did not have support. And that's exactly what these folks are trying to do to me. They're trying to isolate me. They're trying to really affect how I choose to feel about myself. But I've really learned, like in my meditation yesterday, my self-worth is already defined by the divine and not by any other person, by no one else's design. And that's where I move from. So I'm glad that I could recognize my choices. I'm glad that I have people who have loved on me. I'm so grateful for everyone who had ever prayed for me or sent positive energy, good love. Thank you. Thank you. You are appreciated. And I'm grateful that I'm learning in this process that I can allow those who have not healed to have their own experiences, that I don't need to rescue them. I don't need to tell them what to do. I don't need to fix, control, or change their world. They're going to learn. They're going to learn without any effort on my part. And so all I've got to do is my responsibilities just to be me, just be myself, just do what I love, just show up in this world. So yeah, yeah, it's so funny. It's so very funny. I was just musing on that in my meditation, and I just love how the divine works and uses people to create change, to wake folks up to see more of their world. No one would be watching me. No one would be checking out this channel ever if I was just by myself. But it took gang stalkers to make it possible for these messages to reach some people who might be suffering. So I have to laugh at that process. I think it's so glorious. And I couldn't have designed something like this on my own. And so yeah, I'm like very removed and resigned from anything, any rumors that these folks would have started about me, because I know my worth. So I release their ideas that I'm a prostitute. I release their ideas that I hate Asian people. I release their ideas that I'm homophobic. As someone who is gender questioning, that's great. I release their ideas. I release their ideas that I may be anti-Semitic. I'm like, bro, bro, bro. This is not me. I've not done any of those things. I think Asian guys are hot, and so I know I'll see that showing up on my TikTok. Um, Actually, I've dated quite a lot of Asian guys now that I think about it. Yeah, no, I am passionately against racists. I'm passionately against sexists. I'm passionately against people who are homophobic. Um, I'm passionately against people who are anti-Semitic. So, good try though. But that's probably something that they have within themselves that they're needing to process out. It's called projection. I can see it. It's a form of codependent behavior. Um, yeah, no, no. The number one rule about Quinn, if you know anything about me, is never make assumptions, because it makes an ass out of you and me. And so I just get to laugh at this whole fucking situation. It's beautiful. Isn't it funny how the divine will work? 1 3 2 4 on the clock. That's kind of funny. Um, with my dyslexia, I think that's even more beautiful. Um, and speaking of which, dealing with this whole situation helped me to deal with my aunt's grief. I was distracted from my grief, which this moment I loved. I thought that my life would probably end when she passed. And because of dealing with this, I was able to process her grief, uh, process the grief of her death um, a little more gently, because I was distracted in fixing all these things. So I just sit back and enjoy the miracle of it all. It is so fucking funny. It's never turns out the way that I plan it, but there are ways that stuff is getting done. Sometimes what do they say? Sometimes you wash the windows and the floor gets polished. That's, yeah. So I'm enjoying the joke. I'm enjoying the laugh, and just embracing whatever the divine wants to bring. I'm here to show up for it. I'm going to keep on singing. I'm going to keep on writing. I'm going to keep on balloon twisting, um, keep on voice acting, because these are my passions. And if it made folks feel uncomfortable, okay, it makes folks feel uncomfortable. Um, yeah, I'm just going to keep on moving. All right, till next time. Peace.